it's Anya here, and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks. And today we are making this square here. Now, I saw this square or something similar online and I thought, oh, that looks really nice and easy to do. So I made my own version of it and I think I love it. So what I have done is taken this square, then squared it up, and then I have made a number of squares like this, or using my selection of colors here, and I have turned it into a very useful object. So I hope you will be interested in making my suggested project as well, but if not, and if you like the look of this square, of course there's nothing stopping you from making lots of these to make a blanket, making a few of these and make a cushion cover, make a poncho, make whatever you want in this, in whichever color combination you fancy, of course. But yeah, this is one of those videos where I show you how to make a square. In the first video you can do whatever you like with it, but I have a suggestion, I have an idea of what I made with it. At the end of this video I will show you exactly what you need to make, so that in the next video you will be able to make the same thing as I am going to be making. I can't wait. So let's get started. So for this project I used a selection of 6 colors. This is storm blue, gold, petrol, raspberry, fuchsia purple and plum, and these are all Starcraft Special DK colours. And I used these as a sort of contrasting complementary colour palette, and I didn't use every colour in every square. So at the end of the video I will show you the squares that I made so you can copy them if you want to. And yeah, I had really a lovely time, trying to combine these colors. As you can see here, I did some trial runs and there is pale rose in there, but I didn't think that went really well, so that went out. Then here I had much lighter colors, didn't like that effect either. So it's always good to play around with some colors, and then when you've got your colors, still be open to change, because that's what I did here as well. So these are some of my samplers that I made, always handy to do that. Then of course this is a double knit yarn, so normally you would use a 4mm hook for that. I use a 3.5 because of my tension, so use the hook that you usually use. You need your darning needle and of course a pair of scissors as well. So let's get started. I'm using storm blue and I'm making my slip knot here. So make your slip knot whichever way you usually make. I'm using my 3.5, insert into the loop and close up the loop. We are now going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then you go back to your first V here, to your first chain, and you go into that one. Always needs a little bit of persuasion. There we go, I'm in. Then you bring through your working yarn and you bring it through the loop on your hook. There we go. We have now got a little circle, and this is what we are going to be using now. So let's chain 2, keep your end out of the way, 1 and 2. This will be counted at the end of our round, so let's just wait to count that for now. So now we are going to do in total 16 double crochets, but we're going to get started with doing 15 and then we'll sort this one out there. Okay, so yarn over and insert into the circle that we have already made. Pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And as you can see now, I'm going to try and hold my end along my circle so I can take that with me and sew it in on the go. Well, try to. So I am now going to continue making double crochets until I have 15 V's on top of my work, and then I will be back to show you how to make your 16th. So I have now done 15 double crochets. This here is that chain 2. This is going to count as our 16th one. And this here is our 15th V. I'm going to go under there. I'm going to do a slip stitch. So you just pull the yarn through the loop on your hook. And this has now created a 16th V, which lies over that chain that we did to get started. And that is the end of round 1. So let's cut off the yarn and pull this out, and also you'll have to sew in those ends. So here we are. I have my inner circle of my square. This is round 1, and now let's get started on round 2. So I'm going to be using the gold, and I make my slip knot again, insert my hook, close the loop, and pretending I'm already crocheting, I'm going to yarn over, insert under any V, and I am going to do a double crochet. Then we chain 1, yarn over, under the next V to do your next double crochet. Chain 1, under the next stitch for a double crochet. And this is how you are going to continue. And as you have 16 V's, you will be doing 16 double crochets, separated each time by 1 chain. I will see you at the end of the round. And look at that. So I have just done my last double crochet here, chain 1, and then you go over to that first double crochet you did. For me, this one usually closes up a little bit, but if we were to go under this one, it would create a opening here which is too big. So I tend to try and go over into that chain. So try to get into the chain or into the opening there, just to make sure that you are closing your round nicely. There we go. So pull up your loop, cut off your yarn and pull it through, and make sure you sew in the ends. There we go. So make sure also that you have done your 16 double crochets and that you have your 16 little boxes here. It's very important that you have that amount, because we need to square up this circular project that we are going to create, and at that point it's going to be very important that you have all your amounts, because otherwise you won't be able to square it up. So next color is going to be the petrol, and once again make your slip knot, insert your hook, and we are going to get started by doing a double crochet, so a standing double crochet. So yarn over, and this time we're just working in the chain spaces. So create your double crochet, place another one in there and another one. Voila, there we go. We are going to be placing 3 double crochets in each chain space, and this is how you are going to continue all around for this round. So I have completed my round of 3 double crochets in each chain space, and I'm loving the look. And now we go over to that first standing double crochet there. This has closed up for me. I'm going to go under this V here to do my slip stitch. There we go. Okay. And now, of course, we cut off the yarn and we sew in the ends. And there we are. So now we are going to bring in another contrast color, the raspberry, and once again I am going to make my slip knot, insert my hook and close up the loop. So this time we have to do a round ready for our next round where we will be squaring up. So we are going to be placing a standing single crochet, so just do a single crochet in the first location here. Then we are going to do a chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and then we go in between the next cluster and we do a single crochet there. So we are creating the loops to adhere our stitches to in the next round, which we will be creating in such a way so that we get a square. So 1, 2, 3 chains and a single crochet between the clusters. 1, 2, 3, single crochet between the clusters. There we go. And this is how you are going to do your whole round, and I will meet you here. So I've just made it to the end of my round, just done my last chain 3. Then here we are going to see where we best get under, and I just go underneath the first chain there and do my slip stitch. Okay, so that has closed the round. Now before you do anything else, make sure you have 16 chain 3 spaces. Okay, if not, you will have to restart, because this is the round now where you will need those 16 spaces. So first of all, we are in the wrong place. So let's do a slip stitch into the chain. That has brought us just about to the more middle of that chain space. Then we do a chain 1 and we do a single crochet around the chain space, and this has now brought us into the middle of that chain 3 space. Now into the next chain space we are going to do 7 double crochets. So you yarn over and you go into the chain space and you are going to place 7 double crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Just to check, 2, 4, 6, 7, yes. Then you do a single crochet in the next chain space. So this is a side. Now we are going to make a corner, and corners are made up of 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then we do 3 chains, 1, 2 and 3, and then in that same chain space, so scoot your 5 double crochets over, you're going to place another 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Look at that. We have made a side and a corner. Into the next chain space you are going to place a single crochet. So now you're going to repeat what we did here. 7 double crochets into the next chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Then you do a single crochet in the next, and then in the next one we create another one of those corners by doing 5 double crochets, 3 chains and another 5 double crochets. So that's 4, and this is the 5th one. 1, 2, 3 chains, scoot and put another 5 in there. Let me see, 3, 4 and 5, and a single crochet in the next one. And let me put it down and show you. Look, so now we have created straight edges already. So continue like this for the other sides, for the other chain spaces, and I will meet you here. So I have just finished my last corner here, and of course I have to do a single crochet in the next chain space, but that is already there because we started there. So I'm going to do a slip stitch into that single crochet, and I'm going to pull up the loop because this is the end of our round. So this has now closed the round. I'm cutting off my yarn. There we go, and of course sewing in the ends. So now let's get this square ready for clusters. So I'm going back to my storm blue. So for all the squares that I did, the moment I started doing the clusters, I used my center color again. So that was sort of my thinking behind that. So there we go. Make your slip knot, insert your hook. And this time we are going to get started in a corner because that's a very obvious place. And in here we are going to get started by doing a single crochet. Then we do a chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and we do another single crochet in there. So this is going to be the location obviously for our corner. Then now we need to bridge a slightly larger area here, so we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then you do a double crochet in this lower point here. So you're going to go into that single crochet and do your double crochet. There we go. Then we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we do a single crochet on top of the 1, 2, 3, 4th double crochet, so the middle double crochet. Then 1, 2, 3, and you do a double crochet on top of this single crochet there. So once again, this will straighten up our sides. Then we are on to the corner again here, but before we do that, we need to do that longer chain of 4, 2, 3, 4 chains, and then we do our corner, single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and a single crochet. See? So this way we have straightened up our side and we are ready to adhere our clusters to that. So to start with, you do a chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, then a double crochet into that single crochet because it's lower down, then 1, 2, 3, a single crochet on top of the middle double crochet because it's higher up, 1, 2, 3, double crochet on top of the single crochet there, 1, 2, 3, 4, because the distance is a little bit longer here. And then we do our single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and a single crochet there. Voila. And this is how you are going to continue, and I'm going to meet you here. So I've just done my last chain 4. Here I have that single crochet. I'm just going to go and try and pick up 2 strands of a V here just to go under there to do my slip stitch. There we go. Voila, that has closed the round. And now I'm just going to go and do a slip stitch. So I'm into the chain space, and now I am going to start doing my clusters as if this was a normal granny square. So I have just done the 2 chains, which counts as a double crochet, 2 more double crochets, then we do 2 chains, and then we place another 3 double crochets into that same chain space there. Voila, that's our corner done. So now looking at the side, you see you have 4 chain spaces, and we are going to be placing our clusters of 3 double crochets around the chain spaces. So that's the first cluster, then you go to the next chain space for the next cluster. There we go, see? And this is how you are going to continue on this side, of course, until you meet the corner, where you will be doing 3 double crochets, 2 chains and 3 double crochets. And then of course you're doing the other side, where you will be placing 3 double crochets into each chain space. 1, 2, and there we go. Yeah, we have turned the corner. Look at that. So this is our first round of our granny clusters, and so really you can now choose how many rounds you do. And for the project that I have in mind, I did 10 rounds of double crochets. So that meant also that I did them in the color of the middle of my square, and I just kept it to one color, because when I was playing around with my design here and with the color use, let me just put this down a moment and show you. So as you can see here, I made my color changes in a different way. I didn't change color here, and here I changed color after my first round of clusters, and I have to say I wanted the middle of my square to stand out. And the way I did it with this, having my design and then just the one color of clusters, I think that worked perfectly. So that's why it's always good to sort of play around with colors and see what it looks like, but also changing the colors. You know, that makes a different look as well. So I like the way I've done it here, where I have the flower, what I call the flower, in contrasting colors, and then I've chosen one color, the center one, to then continue my clusters. So of course now you can make this tile as big as you want. I just mentioned I made them 10 rounds of clusters big, but of course you can make whatever you want with these. You could make a blanket, you could make a cardigan, you could make a pillowcase, but you can make this square any size you want, because now it is just doing the clusters as we are used to from a granny square. So in a moment I will do a second round, and I will be placing my clusters in between the clusters, doing my corners of 3 double crochets, 2 chains and 3 double crochets. And it will be great fun, because you can make all your squares the centers first and then do the squaring up and the clusters all at the same time, but just keep it with one color. So now that I've gotten to the end of my round, I am just going to go under the next V there, close the round, then I do a slip stitch to work my way, and another slip stitch to work my way to the corner chain space, where I will do 2 chains and start doing my double crochets again. And this way it's very easy for you to decide how big you are going to be making your square. So you can make your square whichever size you like, depending of course on the project that you are going to be making with them. If you would like to make a blanket with them, you can. This would make quite a large tile. For example, if you make them with 2 rounds of grannies, you will have a lovely tile for your blanket, but you could easily make them with 4, 5, 6, whatever amount of rounds of clusters you want to do. Okay, so I have made my 5 tiles with 10 rounds of clusters each, and that means my tiles are 12 by 12 inches or about 30 by 30 centimeters. So this is my first color combination. This is my second one. Here is my third one. This is my fourth one. And this is my fifth one. So I hope you will join me in making the project that I have in mind for my 5 tiles. However, you will need a few more items to be able to complete my project. I have made a list in the description box below this video to tell you what it is that you need. If you go to my Amazon shop, you will see that I have indicated those things there as well, and if you wanted to order those, you can. I know this is Amazon UK, but it will give you an idea of which product to order on your own local Amazon or to get from your own local haberdashery if you shop local. I think it's a very useful and practical project, and I hope you will join me in making it. So watch out for the next video where I will show you what I'm making. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!